So we're going to take a closer look at a traffic stop that occurred in order to take a better understanding of some pros and cons on how to successfully operate amongst law enforcement out here as black men and further beyond men in America, and understanding the dynamic and how this whole thing plays out. And take note of the fact that profiling, racial profiling, ethnic profiling is not seen as a negative. It is held as a standard of good practice in law enforcement. It's not like profiling for job with HR, at a restaurant, or some kind of a service sector position or something like that. No, these things are there and they exist and are held in good practice. So we need to understand more about this dynamic and how to successfully operate within it, and furthermore, use it to our advantage. So let's take a look.
Hey man, real quick, with the new constitutional carry laws in the state, are there any firearms in the vehicle?
It's March 3rd, 2023, and Officer
Okay, so right off the bat, the way he asked that question right there, if that is you and there is an officer asking you a question like that, and you have provided your driver's license, you have provided your proof of insurance, or whatever other documentation may be good practice in whatever state or county you're in. From there, you say, "I don't answer questions," right? And we learned that from one of the OGs of the auditor game, who's very famous for "I don't answer questions." Understand and realize that you do not work for law enforcement. Law enforcement supposedly has taken an oath to serve and protect you. Therefore, especially as a taxpayer, they are on your dime, they are on your payroll, and you need to treat them as such, and you need to put them in their position as public servants. You need to conceptualize that reality in order for it to play out, though, right? And then the power dynamic will be in an appropriate space. So you don't answer questions like that. There's no need. Once you provided them with their documentation, there's no there. I don't answer questions. There's nothing else after that. You know what I'm saying? In fact, let me go ahead and show you a little bit from my guy Kenny G real quick. I don't answer questions. Okay, so carrying on.
Sprague has his spidey sense through the roof on what should be a routine traffic stop. No one could have expected what would happen over the next 2 hours.
Okay. All right, man. One thing real quick, you said there's an open container in the back? Okay. So I do see the bottle, what was that, Patron? In the back seat. What's up?
That's basically like what
Is that what it is? Okay. All right, man. Not a big deal. You know.
I ain't drunk though, or none of that though.
Hey, man. I ain't going down that road.
All right. So now, if you don't answer questions, it's a little bit of a problem, because he now has probable cause to ask you to come out of the vehicle. He First off, he's in suspicion of you having a firearm. You can tell just by the way he asked the question. And then he shines the flashlight on you, and he's paying attention to your body language. He's paying attention to how you move, how you respond. What are your facial expressions? How is your energy moving up or down? Right? Do you seem flustered? Do you seem nervous? Right? This is all stuff that he's trained and he's looking for in your response and you don't even know it. And you're thinking you're running a game, sitting here trying to figure out how you can lie or get out of the situation. Meanwhile, the entirety of your game is up. A large part of this is what's going on in your eyes. So having dark glasses will help to solve some of that. But at the same time, if you're nervous, it's gonna vibrate throughout the whole of yourself for the most part, unless you can catch it quick. It's gonna be all over you, and they'll be able to pick up on it. So when you come in understanding the power dynamic, and that is that they're public servants, sworn to serve and protect you, you don't need to be so on edge. And now this is of course assuming you you haven't you haven't done anything wrong. Or I'll say this, in whatever kind of realistic moral code and ethic and creed that you've constructed, given the nature of the corruption of a lot of these organizations, if you're moving within reasonable means, right, then that's the attitude that you must and should expect to carry. Now, you don't, if you're drinking and you have stuff in the car, right, you can't be out here, it's just sitting in your back seat like that. And then you got something to be nervous about, right? That's loose. It's irresponsible. We've seen this movie many, many times, and we got to make better decisions.
Okay.
All right.
But with an open container, I am going to have you take a step out of the car real quick. All right. Just so we can conduct our business. As long as everything's cool, man. I got no problem.
Great, bro.
I got no problem just putting the bottles in the trunk and letting you go. The one.
Everything's not great just because he says it. Now, if you get a closer look here, he looks nervous. You know what I mean? He doesn't look very solid. Um, and that is something that, just like I'm seeing here in the video, the officer is able to see. And if that is how you're going to carry yourself out here, even if you're not doing anything wrong, right? If you seem as though you are, then in actuality you are. And what interactions with these people have a tendency to do is to make you seem guilty even when you're not, to make you feel guilty even when you're not, unless you can maintain the power dynamic and you can maintain your footing and you're not all thrown off and just flustered like this. And that can be the difference between life and death. You want to learn how to do that, stick around. We'll get you together.
Morning. All right. But for right now, I'm going to have you take a step out, especially with this bad weather and people flying down this street. Okay. Again, I know I already asked. No weapons in the car or on your person right now.
Hey,
If it's
Okay, so you see how he asked him again, and you can kind of tell how there was an adjustment of the flashlight. And even though I can't see his face, the officer that is, it kind of seems as though he's pulling his head down and just really observing him as he's asking that question, you know, and the way now he's like, hey, it kind of it's a very clear indicator that things are not adding up. Now, one may have a tendency to look at this and say, "Oh, this is racism, this is ethnic profiling, or whatever the case may be." Here's the deal. Right now, there are a lot of deviants running around in black suits with black faces, quote unquote, and doing a lot of deviant, dysfunctional things. And they tend to fit a certain profile. Now, when profiling, when done correctly, they can observe certain cues in one's response and either lean forward in their like pushing forward on the investigative tactics or the policing tactics to try to uh, weed out that particular crime or criminal tendency in that individual, or they can back off and give more of a benefit of the doubt, and just kind of tread lightly. So because of the way that this guy is responding and all of the nonverbals, his face, and then now he asked him again about if he's carrying or if there's any weapons in the car, and he's like, hey, all of that is indicative of something's not right with this guy. We need to really, tread lightly here, be on edge, and really, secure this guy out of the vehicle. Okay. Now, it's not just because he's black, and it's not just because these officers are white. Now, part of it is, though, there is what a lot of people have embraced as a black profile. And that profile, in many ways, is filled with very negative and toxic things. If one chooses to embrace it and say that it's blackness, then law enforcement is going to embrace it and say that it's blackness. That might sound strange to some, but that essentially is the reality right now. Now, there was a point in time where law enforcement would say, oh, well, this is the reality. And it wasn't. Guys weren't out there as predators, they were just working class men, clergymen, um, tradesmen, craftsmen, farmers, just trying to go along to get along. And guys were saying, oh, they're this or they're that, just projecting on them their nightmare. Um, that happened in our past as a people in these United States. So that's why, a lot of this is so shameful, is because now you have the opportunity to put forward your own projections of self without being inhibited by other people playing out their sick fantasies on you, their twisted nightmares on you, and having the ability to punish you, through law enforcement, through banking, through education, and through healthcare, through other sectors. They were able to project those things on us with no ability to intercept in a lot of cases. Now, we're a lot of us are projecting those things on ourselves, and there's really no need. That's what's so unfortunate about it. Nonetheless, if you're going to take on this profile, then what you don't want to do, if you want to survive within that profile, you do not want to act like this young man here. Believe your lie. If you're armed, lie to yourself and believe it. Say, I'm not armed. But again, the premise is I don't answer questions. So you're not saying it to the police officer, you're saying it to yourself, and you're projecting that. Now, that's only if you're on some, I was born in a crack house. I don't know who my dad is. I witnessed my mother selling herself. Maybe you've been sold, and you're just out here and nobody cares, and it's you against the world. And you're trying to get out of it. You selling blues or something for now, and you're trying to get out of it. You're trying to turn your life around. You're trying to get out of the negativity. If that's you and you happen to have been in this profile here, then you're going to have to lie to yourself in order to survive these tactics that are being employed here. Meaning, I'm not armed. To yourself, be buttoned up, right? Buckled up, especially if you know you're hot. You don't ride like just comfortable and relaxed with open bottles, open containers in the car. You don't move like that. You can't have, if you in a state where now in a lot of places marijuana is not an issue. Here in Minnesota, is no longer a probable cause for them to want to search the vehicle because of the way the laws are now. Nonetheless, if you got open ducks or roaches, that paraphernalia changes the scenario potentially. Open, beer containers, open bottles in the car. You can't be moving like that. No one really should be moving like that. Now, I do understand that things can be what they are from time to time, and we move how we move. You shouldn't be moving completely slapped and drunk for sure. Park the car if that's how you are. Call a ride, call a Uber, call a Lyft. There's no need to keep having these drunk driving scenarios, or you pulled over somewhere and you wake up at the red light, officer pulling you out the car because you don't fell asleep or something like that, right? You don't want to move like that. Think twice, move once.
It's a no. It's a no. If it's a yes, you can tell me, and then we can work through it.
No, I'm just saying, no.
Okay. All right. Cool, man.
Hey, man, can you call Micah, man?
So
My tag's good, everything good. My license is great. You can run my name and everything, bro.
that's cool, man. But listen, with the open container, that gives me probable cause to
That
search
ain't
the
got nothing
vehicle.
to do with it.
Right? See, this is a law game. This is a power dynamic, and we're operating within the structure, whether we like it or not. You got to understand it. You got to act accordingly and move within it. And when you do that, it can actually work to your advantage. So again, if you're going to move around and you're doing things that you shouldn't, don't build the case against yourself, especially in areas where you know you're likely to be profiled. We all live in, a lot of us, most of us live in metropolitan areas. You know what I'm saying? Within those metropolitan areas, typically you go, out to certain suburbs at certain times of day or certain times of night, rather. Depending on what kind of car you're in, what kind of profile you fit, you're more likely to be, let's say, checked out by law enforcement in that area, depending on maybe the more inner city you get, the more they're not tripping. The more cars, windows in the cars can be completely blacked out from all sides, license plates blacked out. And they're not tripping. Whereas if you go further and further out, they may be a little bit like turned off and frightened by that. And we all know, right? I know where I live in the Twin Cities, and I'm sure you know where you live. Therefore, these are things that we have to consider as we move about and operate out here. And again, if you're going to operate in ways that may be counterintuitive to the goals of law enforcement, then if you want to stay playing, you need to act accordingly. And moving like this is not it.
That ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm not drunk.
I didn't say you're drunk, but it's you're in possession of an open container of alcohol while operating a motor vehicle. Like I said, it's not a big deal. It's a misdemeanor, man. So I am going to have you take a step out.
All right. Well, I'll take the ticket, though, man. I'll take the ticket, though.
Okay, but I need you to understand something, Mr. Whiteside. You still have to get out of the car.
What are you saying?
Yeah, he's not accepting the fact that the gig is up, right? Like we're turning this up a notch. You've checked all boxes. You're within a certain profile. We got you. We're not letting you go. And that's just it. He hasn't accepted that quite yet.
Hey, bro. Because I'm talking to the officer and I'm talking to you at the same time.
Why don't you hang up the phone, man?
No, it's safety, bro.
Oh, okay. Well, you're safe. Nothing is going to happen to you. But I do need you to cooperate. All right. Now, I've asked you several times now to exit the vehicle. All right. Those have all been requests. I'm now going to order you to get out of the car.
Oh, but hey, you know what? This law enforcement officer here, I don't mind his approach at all. I think he understands the game. You know what I'm saying? And he's playing it. He's playing it, and even within that, he's been, he knows what he has, and he's getting ready to collar this guy, but he's still talking to him with a degree of respect and consideration, and he let it be known here that those have all been requests. Now I'm ordering you to get out of the car.
You gonna order me to get out the car?
Yeah. You don't have a choice.
What's the protocol, bro?
Like I already told you, man, I have probable cause to search your vehicle. All right. So to do so,
Bro, what's the protocol, bro?
This guy said, "What's the protocol?" Oh, but he clearly that's what you call a malaprop, ladies and gentlemen, a malapropism, and that is where you use a word with the wrong meaning. You know what I mean? So he has a malapropism here, or a malaprop for short. Meaning the situation is just clearly over his head, right? He's been in, if anybody's ever seen Tron, like I think it was the original 80s one, where they were just like building these like walls around each other with these speed motorcycles that they were in. He's been motorcycled in. He has no clue, and he's getting ready to be moved off board. I can clearly see that. And here's another thing: when you have situations like this, where this guy clearly is a bad actor, and he seems to be putting on this victim card here. And when behaviors like this can lead to, well, there's racism in law enforcement, and, uh, these guys did me wrong because of my skin color and things of that nature. Not necessarily, and most certainly not in a case like this. Now, does it happen? Absolutely, sure. Can it potentially happen at any moment? Yeah, definitely. Now, in a case like this, if he checked all boxes, right, there was no open container, and all his documentation was up and up, and he simply said, "I don't answer questions," and they didn't like that, then it would be a different scenario. But that this is most certainly not the case.
Protocols, we're just gonna have you get out of the car. It's okay. Listen, man, we can work through this. I promise you, man. If you're cool with us, and you're gonna be on your way here in about 2 or 3 minutes. I promise you. That's it.
I don't believe that, bro. I think y'all, bro.
So like I already told you, man, I already said I can work with you for just the open
Can my
container.
sister pull up?
No, that's a
Cause
safety concern, man.
I'm
It's
really
dark
like,
out.
scared, bro,
She's
for
just
my life.
for what, dude?
It's
For what?
he's here's the thing. Um, this is I see the game he's playing here. He's pulling the I'm the black guy uh being harassed by white law enforcement. They're in Akron, Ohio, by the way, for those who know what that means. Um so it's like that's his game here. That's his trump card. Like, but his case is weak, and it's embarrassing. It's pathetic. It's lowly, and it's unfortunate that legitimate cases are associated with cases like this. You know what I mean? Um, Now for the law enforcement guys who are like laughing, yuck yuck, what do you got to be afraid of? Not necessarily, not necessarily. Now, granted, it's pretty obvious that uh, he's, what he is. I'll give you that. And they're right to feel that way because they have been courteous and respectful with him in this exchange. Um, but it's incumbent upon us on all sides, especially when you're upstanding law enforcement, to see how this game can be played, and so you can counter it as well. You know what I mean? Because depending on a lot of times, depending on the political outlook of who's viewing this footage, different things can be interpreted. Although this interpretation here is most certainly truthful and on the up and up, um, some of these political people use things as a political football and can be very demonic in the way that they operate, to be honest. So we got to all look out for this kind of thing on all sides, including law enforcement, because these guys, truthfully, they've been gentlemen. And while black men in general in interactions with white law enforcement, there oftentimes is at least at the very least an initial discomfort until there's a comfortable exchange enough to sense each other out on both sides, to sense out intentions on both sides. Um, and when your intentions are good and you observe the power dynamic, and that is you're a taxpaying, upstanding citizen, and these guys have been sworn to serve and protect you. They are public servants. They are on the taxpayer dime. You are a taxpayer, therefore they work for you. And as I said, you're moving upstanding. You're a contributor to society, to your community, to your family, to your neighborhood, um, to every space you walk into. Then you can expect to have good things. You can expect the system to work. This kind of thing right here, though, there are many lessons to be learned. Let's continue to observe.
Y'all don't watch the news? Y'all know? Y'all see what's going on
All right.
in the world?
Okay.
Listen, dude,
Listen,
we're human beings having a conversation with you.
I've
We have a
been
job
nothing
to do.
but respectful to you. You've been respectful to me so far. I appreciate it.
Right.
But now I need you to cooperate.
Listen, we need you to step out of the car right now.
Bro,
Okay?
y'all is scaring me.
The fact that you're not cooperating is leading me to start to think that there might be something else that's going on.
Nothing.
There's nothing
in
going
the
on.
car. I don't give a about the car.
Well, that's great, man.
Well, I
Then
gotta
let
leave.
us
I
conduct
just-
our business, and we can get you on your way. All right?
Hey, y'all shut the f- up, man.
Okay. I don't know how to explain it any clearer.
Yeah, very, very, very gentlemanly exchange. Again, law enforcement knows, like I do, that this guy's a bad actor. Something's not adding up. Um, you know, they're pretty much just trying to respectfully get to the point of pretty much upholding the law, right? Like you're breaking it clearly. so, so we're going to, process you. And this guy's like, that's because, oh man, hold on, his face right now. This guy's like, just because I'm black and you guys are white, this is racism. I'm scared for my life. You know, this is a few years back, so we've had, George Floyd and other things. Uh, and he's got all this working for him, so he thinks. And he's doing his damnedest to keep it working, keep it moving, to try to stay in this car. Which, I guess, prison is enough to really encourage a person to do some crazy things to stay free. But given the state that we live in today, again, this kind of stuff can be used. So it's incumbent upon us to understand and look at the game that's being played out here, and how in this particular case, and by no means am I pro either side here, it tends to be that law enforcement does have a lot of negative practices in some individuals who are just untrained and just disgraceful in conduct. These guys have been gentlemen thus far. And this guy's just a bad actor.
Bro, can we pull it to a main street?
You're on a main street. We've probably been passed by 100 cars. So here's the deal. All right, Mr. Whiteside, for right now, interlace your fingers, put your hands on top of your head. All right.
If you put this down right here, I'll.
Oh snap! Get out of here. So, just like we all knew, he he pulls off. All right. So let's see what the reason is.
11 single Chase took off. He had no container in the car. Refused to get out of the car several times. Speeds are 60 going southbound on Brown Street. Traffic's light yielding still westbound on East South Street approaching Grand. Hey, what do you guys go that way?
All right, 11. I have a description of that male. He's a black male, thin build, light skin, tattoos on his face. He's wearing a black winter hat, and he has some sort of red sweatshirt on.
Okay. Now, having just listened to that profile of a black male, I think it's important to ask what comes to mind when you hear someone who fits that kind of a description. Is it a loving father who's out working hard to make his children proud, to make his community, his world a better place? Is that what comes to mind? For myself, the answer would be no, that is most certainly not what comes to mind. And if you're unhappy with that, and you feel like, maybe I'm a black male and I somewhat currently fit that image, you can rebrand yourself and you can rebrand your image. And that is a wonderful thing.
Black pants, I believe. When asked about firearms, he was real hesitant to answer. And then as we went to get him out of the car, he refused to do so. So just be advised, he may be armed.
Notice how the LEO, the law enforcement officer, notice how he noticed that the perp was hesitant to answer, right? Notice how he observed that in the interaction. Notice how all of this is being observed. You are in a power dynamic, a power play, immediately upon interacting with any LEO, any law enforcement officer. You must understand that.
There's somebody running over there.
I can't see.
Yep, somebody's running.
Per one, we had one male running under the bridge, northbound. He's running this way. He's gonna be somewhere under this bridge or near to it, northbound. He saw him running. You see him?
Yeah. Hey, where'd you last see him at? Hey, car 3 just said he's running up the hill.
They are
I
after
don't know
him.
what hill.
You see him? That's not him, is it? No. What hill are they talking about?
I don't know. He ran this way across the street as the person we saw. That's the only thing I told them, and then they said something at a hill.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I don't know where the they went, dude. Where are they? No idea. God damn it.
They want him.
You're needed at Brown and Johnston for hit due to this chase.
They want him. Got the canine. Canine. Well, hey, look, I'll say this in light of this pursuit here. A lot of crimes are being committed, and these guys are stealing cars. They're breaking in homes. They're doing a lot of deviant activity, and a lot of LEOs are just letting them get away with it. And I say bravo, kudos to these officers who want to get bad actors off the street and want to really help make it all safer for the rest of us who are really about the business of looking to just make this thing work better for all of us and maintain a functional society for perhaps just a little bit longer.
Guys are down there.
Yeah, oftentimes when officers got to go through a lot like this, they're pissed by the time they get their hands on you. So they come with all the extra profanity. That, in addition to, I suppose it helps to add a level of seriousness to the encounter. Tattoo on the head.
Who needs a breath? Who needs a breath?
Nobody.
Nobody needs a breath. Tattoo on the head, tattoos on the face. By the way, I didn't say anything about the tats. If you do not have any tattoos on your face, please, I'd recommend highly, do not put tattoos on your face. I'd advise getting any tattoo. I know that might be a little difficult to do, but at the very least, I advise against don't, under any circumstance, put a tattoo on your face. If you have one, it is what it is. I'd say don't get any more. If that's your deal, so be it. As it relates to this whole profiling thing, though, understand and know what sector that puts you in this dynamic, and act accordingly if you'd like to avoid being in a situation like this here.
Brandon is finally taken into custody, and just as it seems the situation is under control, his family members arrive, making the situation a lot worse.
I just want to know.
No, absolutely, you don't. You have to leave.
All right, look, no, you go.
You're obstructing traffic.
Okay, well, I'm gonna just meet you at the gym.
Absolutely, you can.
Okay, I'll meet you at the gym.
Can we know what happened though?
Yeah, he took off from us on a chase. So he's in a cruiser.
Can we at least get his car?
Absolutely not. It's disabled, destroyed. So you guys have to move the car away from the street so you're not
move
obstructing
the
traffic.
car.
And you have
I'm
to
allowed
step
to be here.
No, you have to step off the road. Thank
Well,
you.
okay, I'm allowed.
Unfortunately, the family's antics are just beginning.
Put your feet. You got anything that's on you? I'm open that freaking.
You know, this question I've always found to be an interesting one. When law enforcement asks, do you have anything on me that's going to poke me or prick me? And it's as though they really take your word for it. You know, it's strange, right? Like, assume yes, especially in this day and age, with the level of high that folks, seems like everybody's getting on. To be honest, through rather it's over-the-counter meds, vaccines, medicines from prescribed from doctors, or street drugs, or what they call recreational drugs. It seems like we all on something. So I'd assume if you're an LEO, maybe you gotta ask that question, but it seems like a silly one to me. Assume yes, there are things on you that can poke the hell out of you, and act accordingly.
Hold on, man. Give me 1 second.
Hey, can I go one more time through this thing?
Go ahead. I got still a chain shirt and everything.
So it looks like he ran into something, and maybe he ran into somebody in traffic and just took off.
Yeah, appreciate you, man.
Come on, thank you.
There was the source of the problem right there. The Patron bottle.
Don Julio.
Oh, no.
Tequila.
Alright. What's that? Alright, stop, man. Come on. I'm gonna read your rights right now, okay? You have the right to.
13, if you copy.
I still gotta read them to you, bro. So just be quiet. What? I mean, why are you saying that, man? They obviously handcuffed you. You're in the back of the cruiser. Stop. You're being dramatic now. You're the one that ran.
Right.
Why are you scared? They asked you to get out. If you would have done that, it would have been way easier. Well, for right now, you're being arrested for definitely obstructing. That I know, but I'm not the initial officer. Well, if you're a good dude, why'd you run?
Look at what happened. You ran, we caught you, and you're still fine in the back seat. So
He said I'm a good dude. So apparently they're cutting out his conversation. But Let's go with what the officer said. So he said, if you're a good dude, then why'd you run? Fair enough. Now, again, it looks like they didn't find anything on him. So now, if he had on him a weapon of sorts and he had an extended clip, some states now, many states now are changing laws in that regard, and they're handing people some serious time behind that. So he may have had incentive to run in order to get rid of something like that. I'm not sure what the case is up there in Ohio in that regard, but he did say something initially, the officer that is, about the change of the constitutional laws. So he asked him if he had any weapons on him. So, or constitutional carry. So that was that whole thing said a lot. Let's see where this is going.
So apparently you have some kind of misconception.
What's up, man? What's going on? You feel like you're dying? Why do you feel like you're dying? Tell us what happened.
Come on, man. This is crazy now. Now he feels like he's dying. He's pulling out all the cards based on what's going on in the media to really try to make this work to his advantage. And this is just not the way to do it, folks. You know, it's really not. I'm not sure if this guy really believes his own madness here and should be medicated, or if he's just doing this to try to get out of it. That's what's crazy.
What's going on,
Hey.
Nah,
is you okay? Is you good, bro? Did they jump on you?
I think they gonna do something to me, bro.
But you, Brandon, stop. Brandon, knock it off. Brandon, knock it off.
She's under arrest. That's all you need to know.
For real, but hey, look. That's not funny, but the officer said the same thing that I was thinking, but in a lot nicer way. He's like, just stop, man. For real. Just stop. Like, he's really trying to get this thing turned up. For real, man. This is crazy. He's really trying to get this thing turned up. He said, I think they're going to do something to me. He got his family over here ready to go crazy.
Okay. He ran from the police. He ran from the police. What are you, an attorney?
I want to know what's going on. I just want to know.
I don't want to arrest you for.
Okay. So, all right. Now the officer's getting into the power play here again and kind of coming off like, what are you, an attorney? Like, get out of here. You're nothing. You're insignificant. And that I disagree with. Now, given the fact that this guy kind of got them a little excited, talking about, I think that they're going to do something to me. Now you're coming off as more of the aggressor, and you're playing into his hand. Look how this one guy is able to kind of swirl and upset this whole situation. They're playing into his hand on multiple sides. You know, he's looking to really pull out every tactic he can to upset this situation.
I told you down there, I was polite, professional, explain to you what's going on.
I'm not even in the car.
Please, I'm begging you.
Where you want me to go? Right there. I can stay right here, though.
No.
Let's go to this block. Why do we gotta
Clear the scene. I'm not worrying about you behind your back. The officers have to do their job
I'm not
safely.
doing nothing to
You're
them.
watching up there.
Okay, I'm gonna watch it
Okay,
right
go
here.
ahead.
What is it, like 5 feet, 10 feet, 15 feet? Why is it an ambulance? He hurt. I'm not trying to
Please
be
don't make
okay.
me arrest
You're making it hard
You're
for me.
obstructing official business.
How?
Please just go up the street and watch from a safe distance.
How?
Please.
This is a safe distance.
No, please. Just
So
up
where's
there.
the safe distance?
Right up there.
Right where this is safe enough. You're making it unsafe by following me. You're making it unsafe. Look, don't touch me. Why are you trying to touch me?
Okay.
Right here. Get away from me. Right, you're
The
making it unsafe.
officers a bit
I'm trying to figure out
extra.
what's going on. I want to make sure my. I got more than one question.
Did I tell you he was okay 6 times?
But why is it the ambulance?
He's okay.
Why is it
Check
the
him out.
ambulance? Okay. Why? Okay, you didn't say that. You didn't say. No, you didn't. You walked away. I tried to talk to another officer. You said he couldn't talk to me. And you got it on camera, right? And you got it on camera, right? You're supposed to take the All right. Well, look, at this point, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm on public property.
Not yet.
Because you're not listening to what I tell you.
No, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my brother. I just want to watch.
You can't figure out why you're talking and yelling at me.
Why are you talking to me? That's your problem over there.
You gotta listen.
You're making it unsafe. You keep getting closer to me. You're getting closer to me. I don't want to talk to you. Exactly.
Yeah, I don't really like how this young man is constantly stepping back like that. I do guess that again in the power play here, or the dynamic, it seems as though his interest is playing the victim, like looking he could kill me at any moment. And that's true, he could. You know what I mean? Thankfully, they're not, at least for the most part, they're not out here gunslinging like that. There are some places where cameras are not required. I'd be highly suspicious about those places, and I'd recommend avoiding them if you can. But sometimes we just don't know. We're just driving, and it is what it is. But again, I tend to think that even if you are profiled and you tick off certain boxes, that more often than not you can come out on the advantageous end of a situation. But when not, things are just going to continue to get worse.
All right, guys, let's go.
What'd you say?
He's worried that you're gonna do something to him. Try to explain it. He's cuffed in the back of the car. He's safe.
It's childish, man. You're all right.
Brought out alcohol in the system.
And nothing's gonna happen. Things get stupid or silly when you're running. It gets scary. You make a movement they don't see, something like that. You can't do that right now, man. You're good.
Why are you just coming closer, man? Because you keep walking this way.
I'm walking back to.
You were told to stay in front of the ambulance, weren't you?
All right, I'm not staying nowhere over here. I'm walking this way. I'm walking back towards my car, man. I'm going this way.
All right, stay on the
Why
sidewalk.
you going in my face and shit, doing all that?
Because you were told several times to stay
I
up there.
can't walk
I just want
past.
to say one thing.
I can't walk past.
If I have to tell you one more time, you're going to be placed under arrest.
For what?
If you come back on the scene one more time, you're going to be placed under
I'm
arrest.
allowed
Keep
to
walking.
I'm not interfering. I'm not interfering.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. How am I interfering? Keep going. How am I interfering? You don't have to walk with going. What's your name, man? What's your name? Well, you're doing silly because I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with my brother. I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with my brother. And I'm trying to make sure he's okay. I told you he's okay. No, I'm not listening to you. Every time I try to see.
Okay, so you stay
You come out and you get in my way.
There's no need to use profanity.
Look, why are you still following me, though?
This
I'm
nigga
nowhere near
using
you.
profanity. That's kind of funny. Now he's out of place for these things, though, right? Like, while maybe true, that's not necessarily his place to say such a thing. Nor, he's kind of just extra. And truth be told, he's taking advantage of the fact that this is a young black guy, doesn't know much about his rights. He's easier to push around. Clearly, not really astute in his understanding of the law as far as his demonstration and his behavior, his conduct, and hasn't demonstrated anything that says he has a strong legal team. So the officer is comfortable and kind of exceeding his limits here a little bit. Not much, you know what I mean? I wouldn't say it's anything egregious or anything of that nature, but he's definitely overstepping and is comfortable in doing so because of the caliber of individual he's dealing with.
You guys, why y'all messing with me, man? You all getting on my nerves.
Okay.
Did you try to move this?
Yeah, I tried to move it. It won't start.
Oh, it's not starting. It's just not even turning on. Okay. Do you guys have like AAA or anything like that?
No, you got AAA?
We can tow it for you, but if you your airbags went off?
Yeah, the side airbags. That's
Okay.
what I'm saying.
All right. No, you're good, man. You're good.
Is he gonna have to pay for this though?
I mean, yeah, I assume our traffic unit will explain this to you when he gets out here. He's on his way out here right now.
Okay, so it looks like this guy was just minding his business, and then here comes this thug that ran into him from behind, and while he was trying to get away.
Hey, do you have?
I got license.
No, you're good with that, man. I'm not worried about that. His airbags went off, so he can't drive it anyways. Do you?
Pull it though, because it's in the middle.
Okay, we're gonna have to tow it. Okay. All right. I'll let you know once we figure out the tow. I'll let you know where it's going. Okay. Where does your mom live at?
My mom lives in Cleveland, bro.
She lives in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Where were you going?
I was dashing, bro.
Oh, you're door dashing. Can I get your license from you real quick? Hey, are you good, man?
I'm good.
Do you
I'm
need
not
EMS
hurt,
or
bro.
anything?
I'm just worried about my mom.
Damn. So my guy's out here door dashing. You see, that's what I'm talking about, man. You know what I mean? Out here, like the rest of us, doing what we can, when we can, how we can. This is a family effort. It's his mom's car. He didn't do anything wrong. And they're talking about he's the guy, this other LEO, he's kind of a prick. He's not being all the way up and up. Call a tow. This guy's gonna have to pay for that. You know what I'm saying? It's probably gonna be 175, 250 that he's gotta pay. He meaning the victim. Once they tow it. You know what I mean? And the tow company says, "Oh well, I'm contracted by the city. I just gotta get paid." And this dude's like, "Well, how does this work?" He might get some restitution, quote unquote, at a later time, possibly, but that's how they do, man. You know, this guy, this is the guy we need to be emulating out here. You know what I mean? Now, am I saying by no means that we need to grow up to be door dashers? No. But there are times when a side hustle is more than appropriate, if not exactly what the situation calls for. There are some environments where there's not a lot of dashers or a lot of people who are doing that kind of thing. So where the demand is high, it would be even better, right? So that can most certainly be an appropriate thing at any time. But my point is, though, this cat acting like he's a victim, crying racism, crying they're gonna do something to me, causing all of these problems, wreaking all of this havoc. Look at all these lives that this one dude has touched in this 15-minute encounter. You know what I mean? In one community. Thankfully, they got the guy, apprehended him, and we need more people like that being apprehended. And we need to take back our communities. We need to take back our pride and what we stand for, what we represent. Because most certainly that's not it, people. That's not it.
It'll be. They already know who hit it, so
like I don't know what to do, bro. Like I literally just went through the same situation, bro. But somebody here, like I got in an accident.
Close the door here and step out of the way.
Yeah, we don't want you getting hit again.
Hey, you can close that real fast.
Okay, yeah, no worries.
Hey, Brandon. What's up, dude? You remember us, right? Don't even what? Because that was pretty stupid. I ain't doing nothing, man. That's why I'm over here. I'm giving you your space. Is that fair?
378.
All right. Well, listen, man. My name's Officer Phillips. You know, you already met my partner, Officer Spratt. We're the ones that stopped you. All right. So listen, dude. You made that so much worse for you than it needed to be. I'm just gonna be completely honest with you, man to man.
I'm not for sure.
So be it. It doesn't give you the right to endanger other people's lives. Is that fair?
For
Because
real.
that was stupid.
It was.
I think my partner read you your rights. You understand them, correct? You wish to speak with us at this time? You wish to speak? It's a yes or no question. Is that okay if I ask you some questions?
Questions about what?
About what happened tonight.
I thought y'all was gonna kill me. I still feel that way.
Okay, well, you're in handcuffs right now. Nobody's going to kill you.
You know how many people died in the hands of y'all?
All right. Have a good night.
Yeah, bro. That. Yeah. For real. Have a good night, man. It's tiring, man. I swear to God. And I hope, gentlemen and ladies, no one should ever be in a situation like this. That is just truly sad, sick, and pathetic. Right? Like, you do all this nonsense and you still talking like racism, whitey's out to kill me. Like, come on, man. Come on. But salute to those most of those LEOs. There was a few of them that were a bit extra. But most of them were gentlemen for sure.